Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the meeting of the Development Management Review Committee, Tuesday, 8th November. Are there any apologies or substitutions?
Sorry. We have an apology from Councillor Durno with Councillor Beattie substituting.
Moving on to declarations of interest from elected members. I'll start myself in saying that we have, or at least I have had a number of letters of correspondence or emails essentially dealing with process aspects of the case, not the merits or otherwise of the case. And a lot of those were about inaccuracies in the papers and so forth. So I've had certainly correspondence from a number of bodies about that, but nothing that really I would need to declare an interest on, I don't think. I don't know about other elected members.
Councillor Doran,
Councillor Brace. Councillor Doran first.
Yeah, thank you. I'd like to just make a statement of transparency, and I'd just like that to be minuted, that I've received a lot of correspondence as well. I've been contacted a number of times, both before I was elected and after, but I'd not responded with any personal thoughts or opinions on the matter. So I just wanted to make that clear.
Thank you. Councillor Brace.
Yes, thanks, convener. I do know the applicants, but not in initial sense, and I certainly don't think a member of the public would have any doubt about whether interest in this or not. So I'm quite happy to continue. Like yourself, convener, I have had some correspondence on this, but I've not made any comment as to my thoughts on this application. Thank you.
Or Nicola, I see your hand up as well.
Yes, thank you, convener. Again, I forgot to say I've had the similar letters from various people, and I have not responded to any of them. And I've been in the shop in Arbroath and bought pies and bridies, etc. So nothing other than that. Thank you.
Okay, Councillor Fairweather.
Chair, like Sarah's had to put me onto onto speaker. I've got no sound coming through my computer. All I've got to say is I would prefer a site meeting.
Well, we haven't quite got.
We're still on declarations, Councillor Fairweather.
Oh, right, so right, as I say, I'm not hearing anything.
Have you turned your sound up, Councillor Fairweather? Of us had turned it to mute at the last council meeting, so unless you've
done that, right, okay. I've done right. Hang on. Speak again.
Hello, 1, 2, 3. No, okay, so you're hooked in by a phone, are you?
Yeah, by phone.
Okay, that will suffice. Okay, is that all the declarations of interest? Okay, looks like it. Okay, we'll move back to the agenda. The next item, item 3, is the minute of the previous meeting. This related to a meeting on the 20th of October. Is that minute agreed?
Agreed. Yeah, agreed.
Okay, thank you for that. We'll move on to item 4, which is land northeast of Duntroon House, Duntroon. I guess just before we go into this one, there obviously has been a number of delays. I think that's something that the council would like to apologise for. It's obviously a complex case. The papers are extremely long. In fact, the longest council paper I've seen in over 10 years. The planning service is extremely short-handed at the moment, and the legal and democratic service, the committee service team are quite a small team, and they have to support a large number of council committees. So apologies for the delay. Apologies for the procedural matters, which I believe are now addressed, and we're now ready to hear this particular appeal. So I think we move on now to Ms. Nicola Hay from the planning team, who will give us an outline of the case.
Thank you, Convener. I will just share my screen. Good afternoon. I hope everyone can see this screen. I am Nicola Hay of the Development Plan team at Angus Council, present today as independent planning advisor to the committee. I can confirm that I visited the site and surroundings on the 2nd and the 24th of August 2022. I've had no previous involvement with the application, and also that I have no conflict of interest relative to the case, applicant, or any interested party. The case before the committee today seeks review of refusal of planning permission application reference 20/00830 full for the erection of a crematorium building, associated parking, access, turning space, landscaping and boundary enclosures. The application site is around 2 hectares of land on the southernmost part of an agricultural field located north of the C4 public road and around 300 metres northeast of Duntroon House. The larger field is contained by woodland and the public road to the south, with existing trees along that boundary. The site plan shows the application site bound by the woodland area, that's Duntroon Hill, to the west, a woodland strip to the east with an access track and 2 houses beyond that. A third house further to the north is accessed from the same track. To the south is the public road with mature trees along its edge, and the balance of the agricultural field lies to the north against a woodland backdrop. The building would be positioned to the southwest part of the site, oriented on an east-west axis with parking and circulation to the east of the building. Access would be taken from a new junction formed with the C4 public road to the south, leading to parking provision for around 127 vehicles with 7 disabled spaces, space for coaches to wait and staff parking to the north. A planted garden and memorial garden is included to the front and south of the building, incorporating grassed areas, memorials and flower shrub beds. The site boundary would be formed to the north by a post and wire fence. A new feature dry stone wall with posts and entrance gates formed at the southern boundary, with new tree and hedge planting across the site, particularly concentrated towards the southeast corner. The site section drawings just show the building in the context of the slope. The next slide shows the proposed elevations and the ground floor plan. The crematorium would be a 544 square metre single-storey pitched roof building at around 8 metres high. The entrance and reception hall lie to the front east side of the building, with the main hall directly behind, accommodating seating for 120 people. The cremator and servicing are to the rear west of the building, with the stack on the rear roof section terminating at around 9 metres from ground level. The offices' administrative areas are to the north and the public exit to the south. The building is described as reflecting a traditional simple agricultural form with natural slate roof and grey and timber-clad elevations. There's mitigation proposed on the surrounding road network, including widening of the C4 along the site frontage, passing places on the C4 and U315, crematorium signage to direct traffic from the B978 Kellis Road, and improvements to visibility displays. I have some photographs of the site. This is the frontage of the site from the C4 public road looking north. It doesn't take in the easternmost extent of the field. This slide shows the public road along the southern boundary. Again, C4 looking, the top picture is looking east and the bottom picture looks to the west. Plan with the junction locations and have photos of each of these 4 sets of junctions. So the first junction is the C4 at West Hall joining to the 15, and this is looking north towards the site from that junction, and the next slide looking south towards the B978 Kellis Road. Again, just back to the junction locations, and junction 2 is the C4 West Hall Road with the B978 Kellis Road, and this is the exit south towards Dundee, and this is a boundary wall around property, and this is the view north towards Kellis. Again, back to the junction location, and the next one is the unclassified road, 315 with the Kellis Road, and this is the view south towards, and the view north towards Kellis. And finally, the junction to the west of the site, and this is the C6, C4 junction. And this is the view to the west towards Burnside of Duntroon, and the view east towards the site. To conclude the case officer report, the notice of review and the grounds of appeal and other information are detailed in the papers in front of members. Thank you.
We've lost a convener.
Members could just bear with me. I'll just see if the convener is still in the meeting.
Is that you finished now, Nicola?
Yes, convener. I'm happy to start again at whatever point you were exited from the meeting.
I think it would be the section where you were going through the various junctions is where I left you. I think my broadband connection seems to be a bit iffy. I'm afraid I've gone in and out, but I lost you when you were starting to go through the junctions. So if you can reprise that bit, that would be good.
I'll just share my screen again.
And I might just kill my camera just to help well. That sometimes helps if there's an issue.
Okay, thank you. This is the plan showing the junction locations. I will run through them in order. So first, we have the junction of the C4 West Hall Road with the C4 road running up towards the site, and it joins with the unclassified road 315. So this is the view from that junction north towards the site, and the view south towards the Kellis Road. The second junction is the C4 West Hall Road with the Kellis Road. And this is the view south towards Dundee, and I intimated that this is a boundary wall of a property on that junction. And the view north towards Kellis. The third junction I have intimated is the unclassified road 315 with the Kellis Road. And this is the view south towards Dundee. And the view north towards Kellis. And finally, the junction to the west of the site at Duntroon House. This is the C4, C6 junction. And this is the view looking west towards Burnside of Duntroon. And this is the view looking east towards the site. And that was the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much indeed, Nicola. Are there any questions for the planning officer from any elected members? Okay, I do not see any hands up. Okay, the question I have for elected members now is, do they have enough information to determine the case? Can I turn first to Councillor Nicholl, please?
Thank you, Convener. I have enough written materials to consider it, but I will accompany the site visit.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Nicholl. Councillor Fairweather.
Right, thank you, Convener. I'm sorry about this. Right, I'm having real difficulty. I'm not hearing anything. I am on speaker. Albeit there is a huge amount of information, I would prefer to see the site for myself, regarding the simple fact that there are so many objections, and looking at the plan as I've just seen it, I think it would be well worthwhile if the committee seeing it for themselves.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Fair. Councillor Brays.
Yes, thanks, Convener. I would agree with my colleagues. I think that a site visit would be very beneficial. We do have thousands of pages of information, and I think that a site visit might help with the decision making on this particular case. Thanks.
Okay, Councillor Doran.
Hi, thank you. Yeah, I think we've got enough written materials to provide information, but I would appreciate a site visit.
Yeah, thank you. And finally, Councillor Beattie.
I'd just like to agree with my colleagues, and there's plenty of written information there. However, a site visit would be really useful. Okay, thank you. Well, thankfully, I agree with my five colleagues. I feel that a site visit, an unaccompanied site visit, is definitely required here. I think we have got a huge number of objections. Many of those focus on the roads, and while we've seen the slides this afternoon, I think there is no substitute for actually looking at that on site. And certainly we'll ask Mrs. Forsyth to organise an unaccompanied site visit, and what that means is we will be accompanied by officers, but we won't meet either applicant or objectors. That's what that means. And I think the site visit would need to allow us to see the road layout and the various junctions, I would think, in detail. So that's probably a cue for our roads officers. So I think that is probably all we can say today. Maybe if we can just get, I guess Mrs. Forsyth will organise a site visit really as soon as we can manage it.
It's up to various diaries, etc. Is that clear? Okay, I'm struggling to see everyone, but I can see all your names in front of me. I don't see any hands up. So
Yes, I think that's clear, Councillor.
okay, thanks very much indeed. Okay, at that point, I think we will close the meeting today, and thank you for your attendance, and we will wait to hear when the unaccompanied site visit is organised. Thank you.
Thanks, Convener. Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.